Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Building Championship Mindsets, the podcast. This is your host, Dr. Amber Selking, where we are in season 16, entitled Winning the Mental Game for Kids. We've been speaking directly to our kids in this season because I firmly believe that if they learn how to win their mental game on a moment-by-moment basis, they'll have more courage, they'll have more confidence, and they will make choices that will not only impact their lives today, but also in the future. Kids, here's the thing. You got a lot of stuff coming at you. You have a lot of distractions. You might even have people telling you that you're not good enough, strong enough, smart enough, or able to do anything different in this world. Or you might have people telling you around you that you are smart, that you are strong, that you are capable, that you can do anything you want. And in your own head, you're thinking, but I don't know if I can. It doesn't matter what end of the spectrum you're on. What matters is that you understand this is about you. This is about you understanding who you are, the power you have inside of you to make great choices and to bring goodness and greatness to the world. But before you do that for the world on the outside, you got to learn to win the game on the inside. And the inside game is the mental game. I laugh when people tell me that sport is 90% mental. I'm like, well, then you've never played sport because it is 90% physical. And the reality of it is that anything that we do mostly in life is physical. Like even if we have a mental job, right? Or we're in mathematics, for example, like you're using your brain a lot, but your body, if it's not healthy, if it's not energized, it's really hard to deliver your best. But what we do know is that if let's say life is 90% physical, 10% mental, the reality of it is it's the 10% that controls the 90%. And most people don't understand how to get their brain aligned with the rest of their body to be who they want to be in a moment and to deliver what they want to deliver in that moment. As we've worked through this season, we've been laying a mental performance foundation that can help you do exactly that. Be who you want to be and deliver what you want to deliver in the moment to have the courage and the confidence to make great choices. And so we are all the way at play number 8, which is routines. This is the last play in our mental performance playbook because it really brings it all together, right? And as it brings it all together, we are talking about routines. So we started, the first couple plays were just general, like understanding about how awareness, how motivation, how confidence works. Then it started to come together a little bit when we talked about, optimal zones and managing our intensity, about attentional control and then mastering our emotions. And then in our last episode, right, we talked about mental rehearsal because it starts to bring those things together into a performance moment. And now we're talking about routines, right? How we can show up and get ourselves in a spot in the moment to deliver our best. And so here's how I think about routines. Here's why routines are important. I want you to cross your arms, right? Wherever you're at right now, just go ahead and cross your arms. My guess is you didn't have to think twice about crossing your arms. But now I want you to cross your arms the opposite way. So you're going to have to unfold, right? And refold. If you're watching this, you're seeing me do this. And if you notice, it took me a second, right? I naturally just crossed my arms. Then you have to uncross. And now all of a sudden you have to think about, do I put my hand here? How do I tuck this? Where do my arms go? It took a second. It took more time. It took more energy. It took more attention. This is why we have routines, because routines help us do things naturally and not waste unnecessary time, energy, and attention thinking about, how we're going to put our gear on before our game, or thinking about what we need to do in the morning to get ready for school, or thinking about what I need to do after practice or when I get home from school before I go to bed. Routines are helpful because they help organize our day, our moment, in a way that requires very little thinking and allows all of our time, our energy, and attention to be spent on the thing we actually care about in the moment. Our class, our sport, our music, doing our homework at night, sleeping, right? Having a bedtime routine is really helpful to get your mind and your body in a state to do what you need to do in the moment, which in this case is to sleep, right? And so Here's the other reason why routines are really important, because routines help us build habits. And habits help us build consistency. And consistency is what makes greatness in this world. When you think about the greats, the best of the best in anything, your favorite person in your life, it's probably because they're consistent. You always knew who that person was going to be for you and how they showed up to you. You always, right? Kobe, LeBron, Michael Jordan, they're some of the best because they're consistent. Tim Duncan, right? They're consistently delivering their best. They're not just one and dones. And so we know that routines are a catalyst to help us be consistent, which means it's a catalyst to help us find and deliver the greatness that we have inside of us to the world around us. And again, that's what this is about. This is about finding and believing in your greatness, and then having the courage and the confidence to make the choice in the moment to allow that greatness to come out to the world around you. Routines. And so again, you talk about greatness, you think about changing the world or being a force for good in the world. That can feel big. That can feel scary. That can feel daunting. But if you rewind it and you just focus on routines that you're integrating and building into your life, and then you start building habits of excellence into who you are and how you operate, then you start doing that consistently, you're going to be able to look back on your life and be like, wow, it's because I had a routine, right? Which is really simple and really doable and really manageable for all of us. And so every week we have championship mindset training, things that we can do to train our mind and our body, the skill that we talked about, in this case, routines, to integrate this into our lives to help us win our mental game. And so this week, it's going to be simple. Start building some routines into your life. If you're an athlete, you probably have a pregame routine. If not, get one. When I worked for pro football, I was shocked at the number of professional football players that did not have a pregame routine. It's mind-boggling to me. But now you know, man, routines lead to greatness, so get yourself a pregame routine. But also get yourself a postgame routine. Get yourself a morning routine. What do you do? What's the first thought? One of my routines in the morning is simply choosing my first thought and capturing it and saying, is that thought helping me or hurting me? And my faith is really important to me. So my first thought is, God, thank you so much for today. God, help me make today a great day. Give me a different way to see the world today. Get me excited for what's in front of me today. Because if not, I'm going to be honest, my mornings are sometimes early, my days are sometimes long, and I can get tired. And so I have to make that my first choice, my first routine of my day is choosing my first thought. And then have a routine that by the time you step into school, you're in your optimal zone, right? And then what's your post-school routine? What's your pre-practice routine? What's your post-practice routine? What's your routine walking into your house at night? What's your bedtime routine? Figure out what's your routine when something goes bad in the middle of the day. That's a great place to have a routine. How are you going to release and refocus into the next moment? Have a routine for that. Don't leave it to chance. And again, incorporate some of the things that you've learned already into your routines. Your breathing, your power statements, your self-talk, sharing with some people around you. Build your routines and see how they can help you create habits that help lead to consistency, that will unlock and unleash the greatness inside of you. We've covered a lot of ground today, but hopefully it was meaningful, quick hitter into how you can build routines to lead to your best self. But listen, we've got a lot of more information on our website that you can find at www.selkingperformance.com. You can there check out our performance team. We've got a lot of great performance coaches. And if you're interested in having somebody come alongside of you on your performance journey, or even in a keynote address for your organization, please send me an email, drselking@selkingperformance.com. I'd certainly love to hear from you. And then post something on social. I'd love to hear about how this podcast is impacting you or how you're applying it in your life, or if you're an adult, how you're applying it with your kids. And you can do that on all our social media platforms at Champ Mindsets. Thank you so much for tuning in. You've been listening to Building Championship Mindsets, the podcast. This is your host, Dr. Amber Selking, and from the locker room to the boardroom, I just want to challenge you to continue building your championship mindset.